about that time. I'm frozen. Why am I frozen? Let's see. No. Okay, there we go. And now I'm blurry. Now I'm not blurry. What the heck is that? All right, well, Victoria's here. Let's get her in. Here she is.
Hello.
Oh. Screened.
Do you hear me?
I can hear you. You can't hear me?
I can definitely hear you, Fran.
Oh, okay, good. Have the right thing set up. Good. So I just reached out randomly so we can have people on the show when we start if we want to.
Telephone number. They could call in. We could talk to them while we're here tonight. You know, if your mom's here, we could talk to her too, because she said that you had shown her how to create an online welcome video.
Yeah. Hello, Miss Ashley in the audience. Glad to see Ashley's here.
Hi, girl. Hey.
We are just waiting for that time. I'm going to finalize. I got Scott Friedberg. He's a friend of mine who teaches. He wants to get in. So we might have a few people kind of tune in and share their thoughts. Or maybe we can have like 4 people on the show today.
That could be fun.
So that'd be cool.
That could be fun. We'd have a roundtable discussion. You know, it's sort of secretive with people at work, so you know, I don't really know of anyone that I could really ask to be here.
I mean, it's all right. I don't want to get too many. If we get too many, then it gets crowded. Ooh, excuse me, crowded. But if we can get a few people's thoughts and toss, you know, throw ideas and thoughts back and forth and all that, then that would
Absolutely.
be.
We could do alternative teaching method.
I don't even have notes yet, to be honest. I'll probably just jot down some points to bring up.
Absolutely. Well, I definitely want to hear about your teaching model for the year, because I had read the article you posted about how kids are going to be in school, and you know, you're a specials teacher. See how that's going to work out for you. You know, I've got some stuff, and
it would be nice
if whatever you want to ask on my end, I could do my best to answer it without, you know, breaching.
It would be nice if if I can find one teacher that is a homeroom teacher, not music, because the two that want to be on the show are music also. But it'd be cool if I can get like
it would be nice.
I have a few. They haven't responded to my post yet.
You should call them. Hey, 911.
Yeah. Let me delete some of these bullet points here. There we go. No. Okay. All right.
So it's 802-432-8358. Oh, where'd you go? Where did you go? Did I lose you?
No, I'm here.
I see you.
I'm still talking.
I see you, sir. I see you.
Why, did it turn off or something?
I just felt like it got very quiet for a second.
Oh no, I'm here. I'm just planning before we hit the old record button. And start the show officially. Hi everybody in the chat. I see we have some people in there. Don't be shy.
Hi friends. Hi friends.
Don't be shy.
Oh yeah, Olivia's a teacher. Olivia's a professor. Dang. Yeah, we sort of put this together last second. So, I guess didn't give myself the time to even think about that.
Hmm.
Yeah, Olivia's a college professor. We should see what she's up to.
What time? Like not now
Right now.
time. 7 p.m. time.
Right now, son.
Um, this is a good chance to open up the lines too. So if we have like a person who's gonna stick around for the show, like for the whole show, we can talk and talk
Mhm.
and talk, and then next in the second half, that's when I can say, all right, we're gonna open up the lines for people to call in and share their thoughts and stuff. So, you know what I'm saying? This is what I'm trying to do. This is what I want to happen for this show.
Call.
People to call in and like give their opinion, and then have a few people share their thoughts or voice messages, or I can play a few voice messages.
Wow. That'd be cool. It would be cool. I want to hear other people's perspective. Because I certain degrees, certain things are gonna work. I want to see what people are doing to mix and modify. Why is my computer running so slow? Uh,
Hold on, I'm typing.
I'm typing. I'm
Olivia,
posting. I'm making it pretty.
I know an Olivia. Part of my dark past.
Oh, you know Olivia? What a small, small world.
Let's see. All right, we got Elise in on this. She wants to be a guest on the show for like the whole episode.
Who wants to be here?
Elise, she's a music teacher also.
Let's go, Elise. Let's talk. We can talk. We can
I
talk.
hope this.
Like I
I have a
said,
thunderstorm, and if it knocks the power out, it's gonna be really awkward. We can obviously just tell people like, "Hey, this is what happened."
welcome back. Welcome back. Jesus Christ.
So hopefully that doesn't happen. If it does, then
You're-
have to.
If we knock it out, we'll come back. I'll be here. It's pretty sunny down here. It's hot AF. So, mm, it's okay. Oh.
Feel bad. Um.
Oh, that's right. There is a hurricane this weekend.
Holy shit!
What
This
are we?
storm. It's like
Yeah,
really bad.
that's so I've
Hold on.
heard. Growing, growing concerns. Growing concerns. I mean, the dealio is stay inside, try not to drive anywhere. Generators.
Hold on, this
Generators,
is like
anybody?
kind of. This wind is like kind of scary right now. Hold on.
Damn. All right. All right, I posted on my socials. So, how are you over there?
I'm genuinely concerned. It's
What
like
happened? Oh, with the weather.
tornado force, like lightning hitting the street next door, like.
Do
And
it.
now the
It
wind stopped.
is hurricane. Tell me what animals are
I'm
flying by your
actually
house.
like kind of freaking out. Like I'm
I
ready
need
for
you to
the
tell
roof to
me.
get torn off my house right now. Like for a second, the wind it almost felt like there was gonna be like a freaking water spout just come out of nowhere or something.
Oh,
It
really?
was like that bad wind. Like it was like hurricane. Like that was
Mm.
kind of freaked me out. All right, I think we're good now because now the wind just went away. So it was probably just like a wannabe tornado. No, it was
They're
bad.
coming.
It was like
They're
real
coming.
bad.
Is that Ollie?
Like that got me out of my chair. Oh, Elise is here. Hold on.
Hi,
Let's
Elise. Where's the
see if I can get 3 boxes. Grid. Whoa, there she is.
Hi.
All right, wait. Let me
What?
see what I
Somebody
can.
called? We're here?
Yeah, they're in the Zoom call.
What?
Yeah. So this is
Hello.
we're not on yet. We're just kind of doing pre-show like shenanigans.
Great.
It's cool to have you here though because my camera's not on because it's on the live stream. So
Oh, gotcha.
But that's only because we don't want to like the camera can't be used by the live stream and this, so I just turned mine off. But they can see you guys.
Okay.
So let me pick the right border here. That's Victoria. Victoria's my co-host.
Hello.
She is the other member of this show. I feel like there's a way I can do this. Hold on. Can I turn me off? Let me see. Hide self view. That's not fun.
I see 3 boxes now.
Yeah, I wanted to get
4 people.
Can I open you in another box? Let's see. There's got to be a way. Or maybe I'm just crazy. Pop out? Is there like a pop out box I can do? Maybe.
I like that our glasses are similar. Jesse, do you have similarly shaped glasses?
No, mine are like more rectangle.
Oh,
I see.
All right, so what I'll just do is I will put it on 2 boxes, and just you guys will share 2 boxes. Is that okay?
Yeah, I don't take up too much space, so I think we could share. Are you okay?
Because
you okay with that?
I don't know how I had 3 boxes before, but
I don't know what's going on.
That's fine.
We're trying to fit you in.
So we're on. We broadcast the show. We do the recording live on Twitch.tv, and the audio. I save the audio, and then that's when we release it on Tuesdays. We release like the podcast
part of it.
Gotcha.
So this is like a chance for people to like watch the show and like kind of, experience everything and all that fun stuff. And now someone's telling me the mic is too low, so let me check that and make sure it's good. Testing.
Danjo.
Dan, do you hear me better?
Testing 1, 2, 3.
I just don't want to be up here because the last time I put my face too close, I heard every breath I took, and I didn't like that. That bothered me. And I can always fix it in the editing post. In the post editing. Anyway, all right, let me shut my blinds because it's too bright.
Thank you.
And yeah, mine's a little bit lower. That's all right. I'll just, maybe I can. So we're gonna do an intro real quick. We always do an intro to the show. Oh, I'm blurry. And there's gonna be like a little. You'll hear it too, I think. It'll be like music and stuff, and then I'll start off with like a little intro, and then you'll just know. So just hang tight.
Okay.
And let me get. It'll sound like this. I'll give you a preview so it doesn't shock you. This is like the intro to the show, and then it says stuff and whatever. Yeah. So here we go. Let's do it. We might as well just start because I think it's too late.
It's 7:06. Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it. Here we go.
Just go with the flow.
Audacity.
Go with the flow.
All right, I'm gonna hit the record button in 3, 2, 1.
People like to get worked up about things, and that's just not our style. So to save you guys a call to the authorities, take a listen to this. The opinions and ideas you hear are those of the hosts, their guests, and their callers, and not those of the companies, sponsors, or advertisers for this podcast. And with that said, enjoy the show.
So we made it. It is another wonderful Thursday here in the lovely Orlando area. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of IceT and the Hippogriff. I am joined here by Victoria, the wonderful co-host that everyone knows and loves. How are you doing, Victoria?
Jesse, I'm great. I'm fantastic. It's happy birthday, Harry Potter. Let's get that out there.
Yes, it is Harry Potter's birthday. I remember. And we actually have a special guest today, this was very last minute, and I'm just going to be honest with everybody. We have a friend of mine, someone that I went to school with, and she is a teacher just like me in music. And with today's topic, which we'll get into in a second, with schools coming back, but with a twist, and it's like the biggest twist ever known to man. We have Miss Elise here, and I know I'm not gonna reveal last names just for for safety's sake. But we have Elise here. She's one of my good friends, and she's here to join us and kind of just chat about what's going on. Hi, Elise. How are you today?
Hey, good and you?
I'm doing. I'm doing as well as I think I can. I don't know if that's saying much, but whatever. But yeah, so that's really the core of what we're going to talk about today. Is just a lot about school coming back, how the teachers are taking it, how we think the parents might be taking it, and just kind of venting about it. Before we get into that, you can always catch our recordings live here on twitch.tv/IceT Kirby every Thursday night around 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, while the audio episodes are released the following Tuesday on anchor.fm/IceT and the Hippogriff. That is 2 P's and 2 F's. But if you don't like that website, you can always listen to the podcast on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on Google Podcasts, and all of the other platforms that you listen to podcasts to. You can call in. You can text the show. You can leave a voice message if you want by dialing the number 802-432-8358, and you will be able to contact us. That was a follow. Malcolm following the show. Thank you, Malcolm. Oh, Malcolm. Malcolm is also a teacher, so welcome him to the show. Hi, Malcolm. How you doing? But yes, if you would like to leave a message and be a part of the show, be sure to dial that number. That is 802-432-8358. Last but not least, please follow, like, share. It helps us make a better show for you. And with that all, out of the way. so let me start with Elise, because I don't know what's going on. What county were you in again? And you don't have to, tell the school or anything, but like because everyone knows I'm in Orange County. So yeah, I'm in Orlando. How are things going in your county? Like, what do you?
Yeah, I'm in Pasco County, so more west from OCPS, and it's kind of it's a bit of a smaller county that's been growing slowly as time goes on, and it's kind of crazy here too.
Yeah, like, so for on my end, for example, it feels like everything is just kind of like circling the toilet bowl. Like, it feels like no one really understands what's happening. No one really understands what should be happening, or how things should go, or how the classes should be taught. You have the parents who don't want to send their kids to school because they're fearful that this virus can infect their child or their family, and you have the other half where they need their kid to go to school because that's their only way to go to work. And quite frankly, I feel like no one has a firm grasp on how it should be handled, and I don't even think it matters what county you're in or what state you're in. Right now, it is it's a poop show, and I'm going to say the word poop for now because I'm trying to be friendly, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, Victoria, because you're not a teacher, this makes it more interesting for me as well, because you have this outside perspective on like what do you, just straight up, like what do you think should happen, just out of curiosity, like, or what do you think, how do you think, should we go back to school, should we wait X amount of time? What are your thoughts on that?
I think that for a little while we do need to stay at home and do online, because this is still a real prevalent issue. A lot of people are still dying. There hasn't been a day where the number's going down. So for right now, I do think that we need to stay online. We need to be as remote as possible so that we could try to find a cure for this, or at least a vaccine, so that we can learn how to live with this a little bit better. But overall, we can't stay out of school forever. We really can't, because like you said, for the kid to be in school, it's the only way for the parent to go out and make money. But, you have to address some other things that, are taken away. They're not socializing face to face anymore. They're not just relying on technology. And that takes a lot of away. Like, as far as individuality goes, there's not much to you at that point. It's just behind the keyboard.
Right.
That's a big deal, especially like the elementary kids, the middle school kids. They're really trying to develop those skills. the teachers, you know, you have to really ask yourself how many teachers are going to be able to teach online all year long, and where both of you, you know, you're music teachers. So how do you supplement the part where they would come into your classroom and you would give them an instrument? Like, are you going to mail them these instruments? Are they going to have access to these instruments on a computer version of these instruments? Excuse me. So I'm interested to see like what's going to happen, how this is all going to change. But for right now, I do believe that for the safety of everybody, we need to stay home.
Yeah, I'm piggybacking off of that. It's and this is in my notes too. This is like the 5-second notes that I wrote like 5 seconds before we started. But time was a big thing for me. Reopening was really fast. It was just like, oh, we got to reopen. Snap fingers and get everything open as fast as we can. School waited, right? Like we this all started March-ish, right? We were on spring break, and I'm sure Elise can back me up on this. We were on spring break. This COVID-19 started becoming a factor. And then at the end of spring break, they said, we're not going to go back to school yet because of this virus. It's dangerous, and we don't want it to spread. And that's when the quote-unquote lockdown or quarantine or whatever you want to call it kind of started, right?
Mm-hmm.
My biggest question is, and I talked to my roommate about this because she's an art teacher, is why are we waiting all that time? We're home. We're teaching online. We're adjusting. We're accommodating. Fine, that's fine. No big deal. But what's taking us so long to come up with these plans, right? Right now, I feel like the schools are not the schools, but the school boards and the state are kind of playing this waiting game. Like, oh, let's see what happens. Hopefully, the virus will die down and then things can go back to normal. But it's like, well, don't you think you should have a plan B in case it doesn't? And then now here we are, literally 2 weeks before schools open again, and plan B wasn't really planned out. Like I feel like everything's moving too quickly again. Like, you know what I mean? Because now we're worse off with them from when we started in terms of the numbers. And they have these school board meetings for example, for my county, they're having these school board meetings live every week, not in person. And if they are in person, they're spread across the entire venue or the auditorium. You have to do that. Meanwhile, you're expecting to stuff 1,000 kids into a building and then expect them to stay apart for one. If they're in elementary school, wear a mask for 6 hours a day for 5 days a week. If they're face-to-face, which some schools are doing that, including mine, or some counties are doing that, including my county. And then supply for hand sanitizer, supply for wipes, like that's going to go out through the roof. I'm sure it already is. Like, good luck finding that stuff.
Still is.
But you know what I'm saying? It's like, kindergartners can't keep their shoes on. How am I going to expect a kindergartner to keep on a face shield all day? And then there was like and I know I'm kind of just ranting at this point, but then there was the comment, I forget who said it, was either DeSantis or whatever, and he goes, oh, well, you know, if you can go to Walmart and not get sick, then you can go to school and not get sick. Yeah, I'm not going to Walmart 5 days a week for 6 hours a day.
Yeah.
I'm going for about 30 minutes, and I'm in and out, you know, barely breathing because I'm just kind of trying to stay safe. You know what I mean? So
Get out of the way.
So it feels like the time wasn't handled very well. We should have been thinking about our options, such as like for our county launch ed, which is like our hybrid kind of online, half online kind of stuff. That should have been planned 2 months ago. That should have been an idea 2 months ago, whether or not the virus got better or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, it felt very unprepared. Every teacher I talked to today, even I went into school just to shape the room up and get things ready physically, and all the teachers are just say the three famous words, I don't know. Right now, that seems to be the three premier words of the year. I don't know, and that's kind of scary, you know, like, because even principals say I don't know now. And it's like, well, that's not good. And it's not their fault. That's the thing. It's not their fault. my principal, I love my principal, and I don't blame her for feeling a little off or worried for, or stressed, like, because this is, it's ridiculous. Anyway, sorry. So at least in your county, how have they like done the planning, like, or how have they prepared you, if at all, for all
well,
this?
it's basically the same thing here as you were explaining. We spent all summer break not having any answers from anyone. It was radio silence. I even tried messaging my principal about some questions I had, but she never got back to me, most likely because she didn't even have any of those answers herself
Right.
from the higher up. So we didn't even have our masks required for children until this Tuesday. They voted on it. So that was just happening. And they were expecting us recently for us to start at a normal school time. We've had no direction whatsoever. They only talked about the 3 options around like a few weeks ago. They even sent out an intent to return form, but it wasn't explained correctly on what it meant. And there were plenty of teachers who put, I would like to go back face to face, because they thought they would lose their jobs if they didn't choose that. So it's just been a lot of craziness going on. And we don't have really anything apparently that our school board can do. They say their hands are tied, but then DeSantis says that the school boards can do what they choose is safe. So it's kind of ping pong and back and forth, and we don't really have any specific answers. We're delaying. Teachers are starting the 17th, and then I forget exactly, then the week later is when the kids start. So I think that's what many counties are doing. So it's just kind of been very last minute decisions being made, with nothing given to us teachers in a way to kind of prepare for the next year. So we've basically not been able to do anything to even think about. I haven't been in my room since the last day of school. We went in just to like clear our things, and that was the last time I was in my classroom, and I haven't been in it since.
But and yeah, I was on the same boat. That spring break, that they let us go in like one time to grab some stuff, and that was it. Like, I didn't really put anything away. I didn't, but yeah, the time, and you even said yourself, like, it felt crazy. Everything feels crazy, and that's just because there's a lack of time now. A lot of the teachers that I talked to today, in addition to not knowing what's going on or how things are going to go, they say, if they gave us until the 24th, the 24th, which is a Monday, if they got that time, they would feel 1,000%, like not 1,000%, but a lot better, because for us here in Orlando, we start August 10th, which is our normal starting day, but we only start online. So we have 9 days of online, and then on a Friday, August 21st or whatever, it goes to the hybrid model where we teach online and in face-to-face at the same time. So it's like that made me shake my head. I was like, what is that? Like, why do that? Just give us those 9 days to sort things out more and make a plan and solidify things, test things out. And then oh no, like Jimmy didn't have a full 180 days at school. It's like, I don't think that's gonna ruin Jimmy's future. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to be harsh, but it's like, 9 days, like, let come on now. Like, if the 9 days is sufficient enough to help us adjust and make things safe, because we can rush to school August 10th and then Jimmy gets COVID, God forbid, like, I would never hope for that for anybody, but it's like, because we couldn't come up with a system that was solid and sure, something that wasn't solid and worthy. Well, now we're just juggling with lives. It's like, and that's not okay. But it's it's for the economy, and the economy can't open up unless schools open. Come on, I don't know. I
Well, like, let me ask you this, guys.
okay.
You're saying that you would want to use the 9 days for them to prepare, but I mean, the schools have been closed since March. There were a lot of places that acted right away and installed the extra hand sanitizer stations, the extra face shields. So what would the first 9 days of being hybrid do for you? Like I was reading that article that you posted. You're going to spend 9 days at home watching the teacher, and then what, on that Friday you have to go back to work, so like you yourself will be going back in, or are you going to stay home and keep teaching online? And like, how does that work with the kids that go back to
So
school?
this is the 9 days. So for my county, they're having us start on the regular starting day, which is August 10th. So if there was no virus and everything was hunky dory, August 10th would be our first day of school.
Right.
But because of all this is going on, and I can't even tell you why they've chosen to do it this way. That's the thing. I can't. I don't understand. I think it's like a money thing. Like it's a payment. Like we would get paid, our salary or whatever because of the contract. But it's like at the same time, it's like if we're using those 9 days for planning, right, and preparing for this, it's not like we're just sitting around doing nothing. Like that's the whole thing is teachers are freaking out because they don't have that time to do that. We have pre-planning next week, but when you're forced to set up your laptop and angle it at you, or however I'm sure different classrooms have it different, but as far as I know, teachers in my school, they have to take their laptop, set it up on a desk, tilt the camera so it's facing them, log into whatever program they're using for the live stream, kind of like how I'm using a live stream here, right? And then have face-to-face kids come in later on the 21st. So now they're going to be you see what I'm saying? It's like there's a lot of stuff that we have to figure out because it's not just teaching a lesson, right? There's also resources that we have to use online. There's programs that are embedded depending on what county you're in. It's just it's it's shoving a lot of things all at once, and it's a very heavy load of things. And if teachers had those 9 days to figure it out and to understand how the software works, understand that like I need to set my microphone up this way so then I can talk to these kids while I'm doing something with these kids, to figure out the spacing in the room, how many kids am I going to have come in person? Because that's the thing, we don't even know that. We don't even know how many kids will show up to school face to face just yet. I'm sure we'll figure that out soon, but how soon? Because if you tell me as the music teacher, oh, Mr. Harrington, it turns out Miss so and so's class is going to only have 6 kids. When and I mean I'm preparing for a full load. I'm assuming I'm preparing for a full load, but it's like stuff like that does change a lot. The number of bodies in the room, because that means okay, well now I can space my chairs this much, or I can set them up in this angle, and because once the kids are sitting in front of you, you can't really take care of that anymore. So the fact that it's all up in the air, and there's only 9 days, there's only a week of planning, right? Because we couldn't go back to the schools during the summer. It's not like teachers can just walk into their class and do what they want. It's closed. So it's all just time. It's just a bunch of time, and I feel like they are waiting last minute too much for education, which is, it's a big deal. It's not. It's I don't know. So the 9 days would be helpful, because that would give the teachers a chance to figure it out and to learn the software, to figure out their system for their class and how they're going to introduce everything, and to just practice, like, because during pre-planning it's like you're basically moving desks and planning out your lessons, but like I don't even know how the lessons are going to go at this point, and that's the scary part. Danjo Draw says, let me read a comment from the Twitch chat here. Danjo Draw says, we have a military-focused government that is constantly trying to defund schools. If you aren't open for a full school year, then you all risk job security or even drop in pay. It's a catch-22, and the government will win either way. Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
This is all money based at this point. We can spend the rest of the summer trying to get the schools ready by investing the money to putting in more hand sanitizer stations, adding extra face shields, making sure the kids are extra safe. But at the end of the day, this is what drives the economy. There's so many teachers that are taking care of so many kids. There's so many janitors that are taking care of this. There's so many lunch ladies that are doing that, bus drivers. It affects more than just the teachers at this point, leaving the school closed. It shuts down a whole industry of people. And it's the same thing with the sports world right now. They've been wanting to bring back basketball, because the ESPN basketball centers in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they want to do. They want to bring the teams all into Orlando, and they're going to, keep them there so that they could play a shorter version of a season. But, you know, who's going to pay for all that testing, first of all? And then, but you have the people that collect the money at the parking, the people at the tickets, the people at the concession, the janitors, the people that set up the sound, the people that set up the lights, the announcer. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's so much more going on.
Oh, yeah.
And the economy itself has just been interrupted so much already. When this started back in March, the NBA was going into the playoffs. The baseball would have just been starting that next month. And football had already ended, but and soccer was already being played. So like a lot of things are being interrupted. How long are we going to hold that stuff hostage?
Oh, we have I just got a new guest in here. We have Malcolm. He's another teacher. Yes, we got 3 teachers in one room. Or one Zoom room, I guess. So I figured I would get Malcolm in here. Malcolm, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. I just hate being on my phone doing this. So if I'm turned sideways, then just deal with it.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Do it.
I'm just gonna accept that I'm sideways.
It's the audio that matters. Don't worry about it, because I don't know if Malcolm, if we post the show every Tuesday after we record it, and then okay. But welcome to the show, Malcolm. Hello.
Thank you.
So this is cool. I'm glad we're all here. So this is a good chance for Malcolm to share his story. Let's hear from Malcolm. What has it been for you over in your area?
So I am living in Orlando and teaching in Polk County,
mm-hmm.
and it's scary. Orange and Polk County are the 2 highest number of COVID cases every week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm living in an area where most people are not using masks, and when you are using a mask, it's like looked down upon.
Yeah,
oh my god! What?
Literally,
this is like a little yeehaw.
So literally, this happened to me in Publix. It was the day before the mask mandate, which we all know how well that went over. But there was a woman in Publix who was like, yeah, starting tomorrow, I'm going to have to do my shopping in another county because I'm not going to wear a mask ever.
Damn. And that's like that's been a real struggle through this whole thing,
Oh yeah.
There's always been the people that have been wanting to wear it and the people who don't want to wear it. So, imagine that, like telling these kids all day.
Yeah, and I come from a family where my brother and dad are immunocompromised from cancer. And I live at home with my parents. And I'm actually moving out on Saturday so I don't get my dad infected when I go back to school.
Yeah,
wow.
I just can't imagine, like, because in here so far in Orlando, I mean, I go to Publix and pretty much most people are pretty compliant, I'm overly compliant. I'm the guy who, like, even if I'm just walking from like the house to my car or my car to, out in the parking lot, I'll still wear the mask, like that's just me. But
nothing wrong with
Malcolm, for you and your county, how has it felt planning wise? Like, do you feel like for me, I'm just feeling like I'm lost, like in some cases. Like, do you feel
yeah. So we've got 3 options. We have, well, technically there's 4 options. There's face-to-face. There's what's called eCampus, which is essentially what you talked about with live streaming your class, and students can either watch it synchronously or asynchronously.
Uh-huh.
There's something called Polk Virtual, which is its own school run by the county with county teachers, to my understanding. And then option 4 is FLVS, in which case the county gets no money.
Right. But in terms of like just lessons and stuff, like have you felt confident, or do you feel kind of shaky on how things are going to go? And
I feel shaky.
Yeah,
We
I'm
have
super
some
shaky.
guidelines as to what should happen, but like I don't know how I'm going to teach kindergarten. I've got no clue. And I'm even part of this weekly elementary music teachers chat,
Mm-hmm.
and none of us really know how kindergarten's going to be because it's a hands-on kind of grade.
Mm-hmm. It's
And I also teach middle school choir, and teaching beginning choir and singing in two parts, that's
oh my,
really difficult.
I can't
I mean, we
imagine.
have some solutions,
It,
but like I really pray for those beginning band teachers and beginning orchestra teachers. Whoo, do they have their work cut out for them?
it's just looking very foggy in the future. You know, like we just don't know.
Absolutely.
And again, my problem is the timing of everything. I just felt like we waited too long to think about it, and now it's crunch time, and all of a sudden it's like everyone's saying the famous 3 words, "I don't know," and it's like, well, that's not good. You know, like that's concerning. And
yeah, I think they're trying to sacrifice people's lives.
Well, I mean, what have you guys have you like what have you guys, looked into over the summer period? Like, have you at no point in the summer did the school like kind of say, hey, maybe we should start looking at some online resources? Because like I'm a substitute teacher. I live in Broward County. I'm a substitute teacher here, and sometimes I go in there and like I'll go on a website. It's called gonoodle.com, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
it is like loaded with things for them. You can for you to like utilize, as well as teaching methods. Teach them a little bit of math, teach them a little bit of dancing, teach them a little bit of spelling. It's that website has everything on it. So you know like, let's just pretend that you will have to teach music online all year. What type of a lesson would you prepare for these kids? Because I remember music class in elementary school, they would give me the drumsticks, they would give me the little shakers and the claves
Mm-hmm.
and such. So how would you go about making a lesson plan like that would be both
Yep.
interactive and educational for them, because you got to grab their attention? So like, what would you guys
So
do?
Well, oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, well, in face to face, we're not gonna be able to do that either. Like, we cannot
Oh,
share certain instruments. There are certain things that we cannot do, and we have to sanitize them in between. So there are going to be music class is not going to be music class
wait,
face to face.
Elise, is there a way to turn your volume up? Your volume went down somehow a little
It
bit.
went down. I'm sorry.
Let me see if
I
I
don't
can.
know how to do that for my mic. Am I better now, or am I still low?
Same.
Okay.
It's cool. It's cool. Not a big deal. I'll turn you up. I'll turn you up in the post editing. But we can hear you. We can still hear you. I just want to. I'll turn it up in the after we record. Yeah. And Victoria, to piggyback on what she said though, like you have to think of it this way, like because the online resources, that's not the problem, right? Like if the problem is they didn't say to us, get ready to teach the next year fully online. If they
right.
said that, I would have been like, I'm going to go and find some awesome online music resources or whatever and prepare that and get a Canvas course going. But the fact that even
Absolutely.
the districts is kept saying like we're not sure, we're gonna wait and see what the numbers do and blah blah blah. It's like, well, okay, time's ticking. Like this is all time that I could have been planning, and I could have done both, I guess. But it's like, meanwhile, if we're planning for, in person, and like
No,
Lee
screw
said,
that. Don't do both of them. No, because it's summertime. We're not supposed to. We're technically not really being paid over the summer, so I'm not going to be planning extra time for something that may or may not happen. That's the district's job to decide what we're going to do, and then I do it according to that. I don't get paid enough for that.
yeah,
Yeah, and I think that's something that's going to be a really big topic of discussion this year, because again, so abruptly the teachers were taken out of their classrooms. You're so used to just this one method. You're standing in front of them, you deliver how you deliver it, they take it, you reinforce it, and you move on. But then they just took you out of that environment and said, okay, good luck, March to the beginning of June. And, to be truthful, it would have been like behooved of them, I guess was the right word, to
yeah.
like offer some type of training for over the summer. And I mean, to be honest with you, I think it sort of kind of goes both ways, like in this situation. maybe we should have been looking. Maybe the district should have been sending emails over the summer to like tell you guys, hey, these are some things we're looking at. Maybe you should look at them too. Because I totally understand that. I do, like within reason, severely underpaid and severely underappreciated. And the parents understand that. So,
Some
you
of
know,
them.
yeah,
Some
some
of
of them
them,
do,
yeah.
and I'm not going to take that away from them. But you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
The district does need to have a part in saying like, hey, listen, I really think maybe you should consider this, and maybe we need to spend the summer looking at this as an option. But at the end of the day, like, I was furloughed from my job in March, and I don't know, I just knew from the get-go, I knew right away, I'm like, this is not going to be 2 weeks or 2 months. So, I personally couldn't just like sit around without a job.
Oh yeah, no.
And
So I
one of
just,
the things, so one of the things I'm most concerned with is, okay, if a teacher gets sick, is there really going to be any subs that are going to want to take over that position for
Oh
2
man.
weeks? And my answer is probably not.
that's also very relative. That is also very relative, Malcolm, because again, the unemployment rate is so high right now. It's to say that, someone that did not qualify for unemployment, or somebody that, is a regular substitute teacher that, but, they just need to go back to work. Like
Mhm.
we really, I don't think everybody has fully taken in like the seriousness of what's happening.
I don't think
People
people
are
want to.
still, no, they don't want to. People still think this is a joke. People are still under the impression that they're going to, for the most part, go back to the job that they were working right now. And I think you guys are in a really fortunate position that, none of you lost your job. You worked your regular hours, you got your summer vacation like normal, and now you get to go back to school.
Mm-hmm.
But, think about how that's going to get impacted, in the long run.
Yeah,
If you guys can't really go back
it's
ever.
it's crazy how things are going. I do think that like Victoria, you're mentioning looking into things over the summer. I just, when I think of the district and I look at them, they're like the mini government for us, right?
Yeah.
They're the ones who are supposed to kind of lead the charge, not lead the charge, but support us, right? Like that's what the district does. They organize things. They allocate money to schools. They create lesson plan templates like or philosophies that are used in the classroom and curriculums and all this fun stuff. But during the summer, they did what they did. They didn't do much. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think they effectively used that summertime wisely. Meanwhile, like Elise said, like I could go out of my way in the summer and look up things just in case this happens. But it's like, why am I doing that if the district doesn't even know what they're expecting of us? You know what I mean? So it's like it's like shooting in the dark. Like I can do all this extra work and then it could be all for nothing because the district went a different way. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? The other thing I wanted to say regarding the in-person, this was you mentioned it a while ago, but like the whole disinfecting thing, like I'm afraid to use instruments because, and I've said this to my coworkers at school, I'm afraid to use instruments because if I happen to let some kiddos play with, and I'm just an example, egg shakers, and they use the egg shakers for the class, we do an activity, whatever, they go, and a kid gets sick, right? And I didn't, and not that I wouldn't properly sanitize it, but like I missed an egg or this, that, and the other. There's just so many factors where a kid can get sick from touching an instrument that another kid touched, or they got them mixed up and they accidentally swapped instruments without washing and it's like, well, now it comes back to me. Oh, Johnny got COVID. How did he get COVID? Oh, well, he was playing instruments in music class. He was touching instruments. That could have been a place for. Well, now they're looking at Mr. Harrington. Mr. Harrington, did you properly sanitize the instruments? And that's scary because that could be my job. That could be a legal thing. It's like your teacher put my son in the hospital or my kid. That's scary. And I love music. I did music all my life, but I'm not risking a kid's life to play an egg shaker. Like, I'm sorry. That's just how I see it. Like
Absolutely.
I can teach them the music stuff other ways through non-contact. I can, but I mean, until we get a vaccine or until we have a cure or whatever, it's like I'm not going to risk their life. I'm not going to risk my job or my health because I can get sick too. If I'm sanitizing all the instruments and like a couple kids have the whatever, I'm touching the instruments as well. Or if I happen to get it from Publix and then I bring it into the school, it's like, well, now what? X amount of kids in and by the way, I have 2 classes at a time. X amount of kids in both these classes were in contact with a teacher with COVID. Does the whole school get quarantined? Do those both classes get quarantined for 14 days?
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? It's like that's a lot of BS. And I'm sorry, I know. I mean, it's an explicit show, but that's a lot of stuff going on just because of we played Egg Shakers. You know what I mean? That's where I kind of go. We didn't think this out. We didn't really take that time over summer to meticulously come up with really good ideas to satisfy what we were trying to do as a school and as a school board or as a state really and obviously as a country. Before we jump into the next thing, because I have questions to ask, we're gonna take and Malcolm and Elise, if you're more than welcome to stay if you want for the next half. We're going to take a 5-minute break. We always take a 5-minute break around 30-ish minutes. You guys don't have to hang up or anything. We just go to a commercial break essentially and go to the bathroom and stuff.
We'll be right back.
So we will be right back. You are listening to IceT and the Hippogriff. And now we're free. We're clear. You can talk about whatever you want and go to the potty and pee and do whatever. And in like 5-ish minutes, we'll come back and continue.
So I'm trying to join on my laptop, and it's still requiring a password, and I can't copy and paste the link. Is there any help you can give me?
So if you take that link, you should be able to just click on it. If you go on your laptop to Twitch, where we posted it, it should link you directly to
So it's not. So I don't see it as a link. I see it through the video.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So go to twitch.tv/IceTKirby.
Yep.
And you should be able to see the chat on the right side of the screen.
I do not see a chat on the right side of the screen.
Look for like an arrow or something. There might be an arrow on the right that can pop out or something. Maybe. If not, I can just
I see Streamlabs and latest followers.
Okay, I'm just gonna send it on Facebook because that's easier.
Yeah, that would be better.
I'll do that.
I don't want to stay on the. Wait, there it is.
Oh, he found it.
It's theater mode.
He found it.
Hello.
Let's see. Here, hold on.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, so hang up on here and I'll admit you on your laptop. He's so excited.
Works.
He can be part of us fully now.
Well, I could be with you guys and not turn to the side.
Elise, are you still with us, or are you? She's on potty break, I think.
He'll be on the right side.
Ugh.
Direct. Oh, that looks so good.
So, Jesse, I think it would be great to talk about ideas with having double classes, because I've got a coworker that's doing that.
Yeah, for sure.
There are a lot of teachers around the state that have to do that. Oh my God.
Yeah, and I have lesson planning being difficult. I had double classes, and for me it's like the physical setup's going to be hard, like, cuz like even if you have chairs, they come in, sit on the chairs, you got to wipe the chairs down between classes. Right. Like that's insane.
And if you guys only get like 3 minutes in between, from one class to the other, like
sometimes we don't get
how
any.
How are you going to go in there and clean all those chairs? Listen.
Victoria, how I explain it to non-educators, and I know you're a sub, so you do get this. It's 5 minutes at my school. If the departing teacher is there on time or early, and if the arriving teacher is on time or late. It's not always 5 minutes. They like to
Right.
say it's 5 minutes, but it's not always 5 minutes.
No, it's hard, guys. It really is hard, and like I remember, substitute teaching those classes, it's what, like 35, 40 minutes, and you think that's a little bit of time to work with, but like in the blink of an eye it's over, and
Mhm.
if they're not engaged properly, you're not going anywhere. So, my thing is, especially like the kids who have the option of being like how Jesse has it, where it's going to be, they can either go to school or they can stay home, how are they going to do that?
Right.
Like, are their parents going to be sitting next to them at home going like, pa, pay attention, and like
No,
the kids that are
they're not.
coming to your class, the teacher that's on time, the teacher that's late, are you going to have time to clean however many chairs, are they only going to let a certain number of kids go to the school? you know it's sad, but this
Mhm.
again boils down to money more than it boils down to safety.
Right.
So, just proactively, like I don't like I've been telling my friends for a minute now. I'm like, we should all be looking for more jobs. So, we just have to be proactive.
And in my county, we're gonna have to buy our own hand sanitizer and cleaning supplies.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's gonna get expensive real quick.
Yeah, like I put out a Facebook post asking for anyone who can help. One parent donated $40 worth of cleaning supplies,
Oh,
and
beautiful.
I have a family member and a family friend that donated $75 in cash. And I'm just gonna go to CVS and spend it all on hand sanitizer and cleaning supplies because
These kids, they don't stay clean, I guess
no.
now they're gonna be a little more conscious of it, but at the same, like I said, at the end of the day, like everybody's livelihoods are being
Mhm.
put on hold. It's the parents that can't go to work because their kids need supervision. It's the janitors that can't come to work because there is no school open.
Yeah.
It's the resource officer that gets paid specifically because his post is at school. It's everybody. It's the librarian that lets your kids go in and out of there. A lot of people.
Oh my god, I can't imagine the librarian.
Like, there's only one of them.
Well, yeah, we've got a librarian and a para because my school has 2,000 students in it. Well,
Damn.
supposed to have 2,000 students.
Oh, we got
That's a population.
Scott Freeberg
Yeah.
coming in. So now we have a little 5-person.
Hey,
five,
Scott Freeberg!
Yeah, we're in it now. 5-person.
Hey, Freeberg!
Yeah, Scott, do you have headphones by chance?
I do not have headphones.
Scott, do you have headphones by chance? Because
I do not have headphones.
You're
on me.
echoing a little bit.
This is the most people I've been in a Zoom talk with ever.
Really?
Yes, this is cool. Hi, guys.
So, in March, I was in a Zoom chat with 200 people.
Jesus.
Oh my God.
Let me explain how it worked. Do you know anything about the last lecture?
Yes, I love
Okay.
that book.
So, think about it like this. We had 2 collegiate students that were part of the Penn State Collegiate Music Ed Association who ran a lecture interviewing the retiring director of bands and assistant director of choral activities.
Hmm.
Both been at Penn State for 21 years.
Wow.
And it was anyone and everyone to their lecture, and we were typing in questions, and that's how we spent about 2 hours on a Wednesday night in March.
Wow.
Oh, at the beginning, that was necessary.
Elise,
It was like for morale.
Are you back? Elise?
Oh my God.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Try rejoining the call. That way, maybe we can fix your softness that happened.
You see, like, I can see this becoming a problem. Like, if this was a classroom of people,
Yeah.
it could definitely only be one person at a time.
Well, there's a way you can force people's mics to be off and to keep them off if you are the host.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did have to do a train. Oh, you know what? That's a lie then. Well, I'm saying, like, this is the biggest Zoom meeting I've participated in. But yeah, I did do a training. A few weeks ago, you're right. And it was on Zoom. And yeah, they would, mute it. Like, you can't ask questions, you can't raise your hand. The mics were muted. So, I mean, that's going to be an interesting addition to your classroom. You can really shut the kid up this time. You don't have to hear him anymore.
And then
Yeah, trying to field questions while you are standing away from the computer is going to be its own fun challenge.
I mean, look, man, if it were easy, everybody would do it. That's why there's only like a specific field of few. You know, it's not for the faint of heart.
God, no.
Let's see if Elise is fixed. She's coming back. Testing 1 2 3.
Hello.
No,
1,
she's
2,
still
3,
soft.
4,
How did that happen?
5, 6, 7, 8.
You were so
9.
loud and proud, and now it's like super soft.
I don't know. I can speak louder if you need me to.
Oh, that might help.
Don't do that to your voice.
I'm a loudmouth usually, so it's not that big of a deal.
Are you on a
You're
laptop
hurt.
by chance?
I am.
Ooh, is it Windows or Mac?
It's a Mac.
Ah, I'm gonna IT this real quick.
Okay.
Mac microphone
IT.
level. Let's see if I can
IT.
click on your Apple menu in the top left corner and select System Preferences.
Okay.
I'm gonna do this real quick.
I'm there.
Double click on the sound icon. Should be next to your printers
I
and
see it.
you see it?
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
Go to input. There's like a tab that says input.
Okay.
Okay, and then your microphone should be built in, I'm assuming.
Yes, it is.
All right, you see where it says input volume?
I do.
And there's like a
I'll
little-
make that go higher, I guess.
There's like a thing that you can drag. Yeah, bring that higher.
Do. Hello.
Ooh,
Is that better?
yeah,
Yes.
much better.
Ooh. Okay. I'll keep it there then.
Perfect. Now we can
Yay.
be happy. Wait, is there a save? Do I have to say?
It didn't say to save.
Okay, good. Sweet, because now we don't have to worry about it for the next half.
Perfect.
Sorry, I'm reading a message before I get started again because we got to get going here.
You good?
On, just call in. I'm gonna give Scott Freeberg phone number quick for the show. He wants to call in.
Is he gonna call?
Yeah, he's gonna call. I'm wondering if I can. I'm gonna open the lines, in that way we
I
can.
love the phone calls.
I want to get more phone calls for the show because that would be so fun to have people call in and like give their like little spiel and then you know we'll have a couple callers. On the like.
I do want to hear. I want to hear how people are feeling.
Oh yeah. All right. Let's get this show
Scary.
on the road. I'll get the chat open. I'll get my next Audacity file going because we're in it was a two-parter today. We are in episode 15.
Oh damn.
We're killing it. Saving
We're
files.
pros.
Close that. Open this. I never thought I would run a podcast ever in my life, but here I am. All right, here we go. So Malcolm, we're gonna do a little intro section, and music's gonna play, and then once I start talking, then we'll be back in it.
Cool.
Try to keep your mics soft, cool, whatever you want to call it, and then as soon as I reel us back in, we're good to go. There's the music, and all right, going back in 3, 2, 1. All right, so here we are. We're joined again. We're back. We kept. We got Malcolm still here. We got Elise still here. We managed to convince them to stay, which is awesome. And we were talking a lot about what's happening or what's not happening, depending on how you want to think about it, with schools reopening and the plans that are not being made or the plan that wasn't made months ago, that should have been made months ago, and how things might pan out. I'm joined here by Victoria, of course, as always, and then we have Elise and Malcolm, two teachers that work in Florida alongside myself, and we're just happy to have them share their experiences and their thoughts as well. Always a pleasure. But the question remains, and this is a question that I was going to bring up before we went on a break. How how do you think lesson planning is going to look from here on out until this thing is gone? And anyone can tap in whenever they feel like they want to tap in. But Malcolm, how about you? Do you have any ideas of how you're going to lesson plan? Is it going to change? Is it going to be the same? Is it going to be more difficult? You know, what do you think is going to happen?
Oh, I definitely think it's going to be more difficult. The writing of it is probably going to be, it's going to look the same, but the execution of it's going to be completely different.
Right.
There's going to have to be a mix of online things and things that can be done from distances.
Mhm.
So one of the things I'm thinking about doing, especially with my elementary, is doing a lot of dance and movement exercises, so kids can be going around the room
Mhm.
and like I've got a relatively big room. Most music teachers have a good size room, but giving the kids the chance to move around a lot,
Mhm.
doing dances, body percussion. I'm going to be encouraging my students to bring 2 pencils with them every day so that they have their own rhythm sticks.
Okay. I've
And
thought
it
about
doesn't
that.
matter if they're good pencils or bad pencils or pens or markers or whatever. Now they have rhythm sticks that they are going to take in with them and leave with them.
Exactly.
And I won't have to bring it. I won't have to pass anything out or even clean it. And that even works for music teachers that are on a cart.
I've thought about
but,
I've thought about the portable personal kits. Like I thought like maybe we can get like these music kits where kids will have their own little, whether it's a bag or like maybe a little cup, and it has the
it's
pencils.
expensive though.
Yeah, and that's the wall right there is because that would be
Because
perfect.
I'm not sure.
Because then you don't have to
Jesse,
have kids sharing. Wait, what's up?
How many students are at your school approximately?
Last year was like 850, almost 900, I would say.
Right. So if we're spending even $1
I know
for each student,
Yeah.
that's all I have to say. And $1 doesn't buy that much.
Yeah.
And what happens when the kid loses it?
Yeah.
What
Which they
happens?
will.
Yeah. What happens when they're being disruptive with it in class? And you, of course, you have to keep it in their classroom, unless if you're on a cart, and if they're coming to you, you have your own separate storage. How do you make sure that it doesn't like
get out of control?
Get with other kids' storage and other kids' germs. It's a mess. But using Quaver music is going to be my best friend.
I need to look into. I know Quaver. I just haven't. I never dawdled with it, and I might start
it's
dawdling.
It's expensive.
I know.
My county, they are on a 5-year contract. This is our last year. I like it as like a supplement, like as an additional thing, but not like as the whole class. So I'm gonna have to be more creative because I don't want to just use Quaver. But I mean, I'm gonna do what I have to do in order for it to work. But it's gonna be more technology based.
Right, it's got to be.
And pre-record videos that are fun for the little kids and just a bunch of stuff like that.
Right.
So that's mainly what I'm going to be doing with that.
And I'll explain one of the hardest things for me in March, April, and May was I could try and find YouTube videos, but if a student were to search that YouTube video or try and access it through Quaver, because you can input YouTube videos into Quaver.
Okay.
The students that were using school computers at home could not use those YouTube videos.
Oh, I think we got a Scott coming in here. Scott Friedberg, are you there?
I found headphones.
Yes.
Oh.
You're still echoing
Yes.
somehow. A little bit.
Yes.
Echo.
So, is it echoing still? Maybe if I go out here. Oh, how about now? You still get echo?
Oh.
Nope.
Not really, no.
Okay.
I think that's better,
Cool.
yeah.
Well, I mean, we're on technology right now, if I've been paying attention the right way. And I'll share that I kind of agree on the idea that we can't let technology be the curriculum. That's the one danger that I fear about going into this whole virtual routine is that, we tried to make like smart music at my school. I'm teaching the high school level here in Orlando, and we went the smart music route. And that only went so far. Kids are only so engaged with recording assignments. When it comes down to it, they want to play together. They want to perform together. So I think the challenge is going to be, what can we give our kids so that they can perform together?
And before I move on, or before we move on, I just want to introduce. This is Scott. Scott is a music teacher at the high school level, joining us here
Wow.
on Zoom. So that's him explaining kind of like with smart music being like and correct me if I'm wrong, Scott. Smart music is something that they can like play into, and it can keep track of notes and rhythms and stuff. Is that right?
Yeah.
And it kind of
Yeah,
grades
so
them.
smart
And
music essentially has a vast library of thousands of pieces. You have band, orchestra, choir. They have everything, but of course, band is what it's more attuned to.
uh-huh.
There's a lot more repertoire there. Um, but you could do a lot with it. But kind of like I think Elise was saying, that it's more supplemental than curriculum.
No, I get what you're saying.
I can understand where that's coming from because like they lose that immediate interaction with you, based on how you want it as opposed to how the program tells them that they want to how they should perform it. They don't really have like that creative freedom anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in a way.
Scott,
There
while you're here, I just want to ask, what has it been for you, in terms of the planning and people knowing what the foundation will be and direction of what, how's it been for you at the high school level?
See, that's been kind of the frustrating thing. It kind of, somehow we're still in a waiting game, and with that, I'm in the mindset of, what are we doing right now? Why are we opening if we don't even have the concrete plan for us to plan? So I'm still waiting to figure out. I know that we have the three options here. The we have our face-to-face instruction, then we have launch ed, which is basically the kids going through their class day, first, second, third period, so on,
Mm-hmm.
but all on computer. And then if the kids don't do that, they are considered virtual school. They're disconnected. They aren't in band, choir, orchestra anymore at that point.
Wow.
So yeah. Now I'm okay with the launch ed idea, but as it is, I'm still waiting to hear what kind of training I'm going to have next week for launch ed. We don't even have a schedule yet for that, and here we are reporting to pre-planning.
Yeah, and
so
again, I know that was the first point in the beginning of the show. That's the point I made is the time. There was no solid timeline. Everything was up in the air. It was all just play the waiting games. Hurry up and wait. Right, the famous band quote.
Yeah.
Hurry up and wait. Yeah, it's that, but on like a life scale, like a
yeah.
we're putting people's lives at risk kind of scale, and that's not
well,
okay. You know
I'll
what I mean?
share that at the high school level, like there's two opinions. There's keep going forward or just wait. We've definitely at my school, we've gone forward. So we've had a virtual band camp the last couple weeks. I had the kids sign on for 2 hours each day, and they were all in like a Google Meet room. So we got instruction done, and that's why I kind of learned, you know what, this virtual routine we can do, but teachers have to commit to it. Students have to commit to it. The parents, it cannot be a half idea of, well, we're doing this because we have to, but it's all we got. I wish we could blah blah. No, it's, as much as I don't want to go into it, I will say that it's not a terrible of a thing, and I wish I had adopted it sooner in the springtime. But just what direction, what are we allowed to use, what are we not allowed to use, and then trying to come up with resources. So I'm actually here also to hear from the people speaking, like what resources you all have in mind of getting the kids to interact more. Because that's really all I want to see differently, the interaction aspect.
Yeah, it's Malcolm. It's interesting to hear both perspectives because Malcolm, you dip your toes in the middle school level too with chorus. So
yeah, a third of my day is middle school.
Yeah, so we have all three levels here, and it's just interesting to hear because for high school, I would imagine and I'm not saying anyone's job is easier. I'm not saying that by any means. But I am saying I feel like I would be a little more successful in terms of planning for that age, the high school age, where they can get on a computer. They know how to operate the computer. They can that skill set is there, versus the second grader who, you have to teach them how to even log in, so
You need to teach them how to be a human first off before anything else.
yeah. So
Yeah,
and
that's
again,
true.
I'm not saying, but because for orchestra or band at the high school level, I would have almost no idea. I would still probably have almost no idea of how I'm going to do things. If I'm teaching theory, like that's one thing, I can do that online. But like when you're teaching band per se online, it's like, well, man, like, I mean, smart music can only go so far, right? And how are you I don't know how the band world's handling MPA. I don't know how marching season is probably not going to happen, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, they canceled band camp at UCF. They're going to do something virtual.
Yeah.
So
Well,
but the kids definitely not.
Okay.
what we know about marching band, at least what I've heard as a non-band director, is that all MPAs have been canceled. And for those of you who don't know, MPAs, Music Performance Assessment,
Right.
that has been canceled statewide in Florida.
Okay.
Wow.
I didn't hear that. Dang.
Yeah, the FBA president came out with that news about 2 weeks ago.
This just puts everybody in a really difficult position because, kind of how we were, like how I was talking about earlier, like this is affecting a lot of people in a lot of aspects. And it kind of, it makes me wonder in a way, like the future of like perhaps you guys' jobs, like in the next like 3 to 5 years, like in a long-term way, because if they do continue doing this online, what's your feeder system going to look like? How do you, again, keep them engaged? You as that band director, how Scott mentioned in the beginning, like he just wants them to play together. And, I guess, if, Scott was in front of the computer and we could balance out, an entire band in front of the computer and, you can make it sound nice, but the fact that there's so much uncertainty in the air still, we kind of have to brace for impact on this incoming school year. If it were to stay like this for an extended period of time, how would you guys adapt? What do you guys think would be like the future of your job, since so many things in like a butterfly effect are becoming affected?
So the
Scott
future of my middle school job is going to be a lot of unison singing, preparing for solo singing,
Mm-hmm.
and in doing things where students can perform with me as the accompaniment. So if we're doing a round, I would sing the first part, and then they would need to join in afterwards. Um, and that's what I think my immediate future is looking like, which
Okay.
is a little bit easier on the beginner level, much more difficult on the advanced level, where I would have to basically put in parts into finale or buy the accompaniments in the performance tracks
Mhm.
to send to students, and then make the practice tracks. Um, but it's a lot of unison singing. That's the middle school answer.
Yeah, I mean, and then that's also like that's very resourceful, because I had a professor that said, the cool part about being in band is, you're a mini choir. So, and it's at an early age, if you can reinforce them with that, with that pitch reference, it could play very well for them the older they get.
Hmm.
I can see that being very helpful. Like I see like you guys have some type of resources and some type of ideas um for what it is you want to do right now. And that's really good. So, for the most part, it looks like if you did have to stay here all year, it looks like your school year would be okay. It looks like it sounds like you guys would be okay.
I want to say this two things. One, Scott will be the next Eric Whitaker with his virtual orchestra. Number two, number two, this is kind of piggybacking off what you just said, Victoria. I don't want parents to become or I don't want teachers to fear the feeling of being incompetent because of this. It's
Mhm.
and this is me kind of talking to parents. If you're a parent watching this, other than my parents, because I know my parents watch this, but if you're a parent and you're listening to this, and we are doing our absolute best. We have plans and ideas. It has nothing to do with the competence. If we had a solid foundation for what was expected, and we had the solid foundation of what's expected, even just a month ago, there wouldn't be this state of uncertainty and fear. Like because we would have had the time to lay it all out, to consider all the options, to experiment, to figure out the online resources, and to maximize those resources and their use. And so, me speaking to parents out there who might be listening and thinking of your own children and how it's going to be handled, it has nothing to do with the competence of the teachers, I promise. It's more of the lack of competence from the leadership. And I'm not trying to shots fired. I'm not trying to get anyone in trouble, but it's kind of like, lead by example. Right now, the leaders of our districts, of the states even, and I'll take it to that level, they kind of failed us in a way. They kind of threw everything up in the air, and they're trying to like see where it's going to fall. And it's like, well, you can't really expect the school system to be finely tuned and run efficiently like that. So the teachers have done, in my opinion, a wonderful job to adjust and accommodate in the short amount of time that we have been given information about what's to expect, if that makes sense. So
Absolutely.
Scott's back. I think he has something to say. Scott, do you have something you want to tap in on?
No, I'm here at something point. I was driving, so I had to put it down for a moment.
Oh, you're all right. You're all right. Okay. Elise, do you have anything you want to tap in and say about what's?
Yeah, I was going to say it just kind of continues to prove that public schools are not in our supervisors and superiors and the higher ups. We're not really on their radar, and they don't support us, and they never really have. And the ones that have been supporting us have been our principals and our other teachers, and the ones actually at the schools. Everyone who is above, they are making decisions that are totally unfounded, and they haven't been in the classroom in a long time or at all, like certain people. And so it's kind of we got budget cuts. I remember when right at towards the end of our spring time in virtual, our principal had a emergency meeting with our entire school, and in the Zoom meeting she was talking about all of the teachers that had to be cut. And so we had a bunch of teachers who all of a sudden just weren't with us anymore because we had our budgets cut. And we already have a shortage of teachers because they feel underappreciated. And I wouldn't be surprised if after like this year, we're going to have a lot more people retiring early, a lot more people quitting and going to another job because we're not being appreciated and their support was never there. And I think this is just proof of that there was never support, and there won't be until we have a change in who's setting the examples above us.
I'm on that boat. I'm on the boat of, and I mentioned this off the air to either Victoria and I mentioned this to people just that I've been talking to on friends and stuff. These people that are the higher ups up the ladder, they're not leading by example. And I'm gonna be petty here and just call out DeSantis and Rick Scott and heck, even the president. Like, I'm pretty sure all three of those people's kids are not attending school physically. They are either doing it online or they're being private schooled, probably because of the virus, right? Like, they're not just
it's all money.
It's literally, heck, man, if it's safe to go back to school and everything's hunky dory, then why aren't your kids going to school like they normally would? Like,
it's all classism.
That's
what it is.
That's just how I see it. Like, you're not feeling safe enough to send your children to school, but you're expecting most of the population to just kind of adhere and go do it anyway. And we mentioned this before. All of the school board meetings are socially distant. They are online. they won't even, but like you guys are holding these meetings not in person, but we still have to go to school. Why? Like that makes no sense to me. It's a meeting. A meeting that happens, okay, fine, maybe on a weekly basis, but for about maybe an hour.
And I do have something to say on this. This is why I personally reached out to school board members, and I told them that first off, they are giving us plans without plans. They have the big overarching idea, but then I mentioned the part of enrollment and funding being a question. I'm like, this can't be a year where you let numbers of students that aren't going to return to school because of the virus be a reason for budget cut. You cannot let that happen. That is word for word what I said to the school board member. Now, if anything's going to happen or not, I don't know. But that's like more to your point of they're having these meetings in virtual or socially distant in a big room that they're not near each other. What happens when a band program of not even all 100, say half it to 50, are in a room? Elementary, those kids are. It is. I find it a blessing for any teacher who has the patience to do the 7 classes a day of elementary music, especially the kindergartners, and get them, sometimes 30 of them, to sit down quietly. I remember my internship with that. There was one day I had my internship for elementary. Teacher wasn't there. I had to do the classes. I was terrified, but it gave me more respect for what that job is. Now you throw in the fact that you cannot have a 7-year-old wash their hands every time they touch one thing. You can, but they're also going to, rush through it. They're children. They're just bam, 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 done.
Yeah, Scott, man, these kids can't keep their shoes on, man. How are they going to keep a mask on?
I want to take my bow off. They're trading bracelets, like the kid. Oh, this ring my mom gave me.
And literally, I mean, and I'm sure Elise and Malcolm, you can relate to this. What's the first thing a kindergartner does when they needed to ask a question? They walk up to you.
They grab you
and ask you if they can do something. And it's like, well, hold up.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? And like, okay, children, there's only a 0.002% whatever. I don't give a damn. It's like, that's not safe. Like it's just not a good idea, because that's literally the first thing that they do is they stand up and they look at you and they walk over to you and then they grab your shirt, they tap you on the leg. Yeah. It's like. Yeah. That's a kindergartner, especially a kindergartner in the beginning of the year,
And all of the hugs that all of the kids give me, they run up to me.
Oh, God, hugs.
And I'm going to have to be like, sorry, I can't. I want to hug you, but I can't. And there are these little kids who are my wonderful kindergartners from last year were so wonderful, and they're going to want to give me hugs, and I'm going to have to tell them that I can't, and that breaks my heart.
Oh God, no! With my 4th and 5th graders, it's just pulling on my heartstrings.
It's rewarding. There's a rewarding part to this job, and it's not something that you can get.
Well,
when,
right now,
the interactive part of it's taken away.
It feels like the realism of everything is being superseded by money to an extreme. Because I know money supersedes a lot of things. But like right now, it's money and health, like where it's like, we got to get these schools open. It's like the world will blow up if we don't get the schools open. It's like, well, no, it won't. The economy will probably be fine. No offense. I think the economy will be A-okay if we, like, for example, if we happen to stay in quarantine longer before we went to phase 1 for Florida anyway. Like if we stayed closed maybe just one more month, I promise you there wouldn't be thousands of people on the streets. There wouldn't. The economy wouldn't go into the depression or a recession. It wouldn't. I'm telling you, it wouldn't. They wouldn't. The government would not let that happen. They would figure out a way to grab trillions of dollars to shove it wherever it needs to go to keep the economy up. I just know that's what would have happened if we stayed open, or if we stayed closed for rather. You know what I'm saying? Like, Meanwhile,
and honestly, for me, I'm like, what's the use of an economy if we're losing people's lives? Like, I don't give a crap about the economy if we're going to be like losing thousands and thousands of people's lives, especially children. Like, I don't see like the difference, like weighing those two things together doesn't make sense to me, because I'm like, the economy is not going to make, it's not going to be important if we don't have the people.
right,
know?
and exactly, and so I just obviously it hasn't happened yet. Like, right, school hasn't started yet, so obviously we don't know that heck. Hopefully we're wrong. Hopefully everything goes great. I hope the virus is on a downward run. You know, like that. I'm all for that. 1,000%. I would pay money for that to happen. But it's just when you think about the if you weigh the balances and you're weighing lives versus money versus the economy versus people living or not living, that's where I have a problem. And it's and again, I would put my bank account out and say the economy would be fine if we stayed closed a month, after, in the beginning. And that's where we screwed up originally, in my opinion. As soon as we went to phase 1 and it was like, all right, guys, bars can open 50% capacity, and that's where I think we made the mistake, because a few weeks later, here's that it's starting to go up again, and then we had that spike in June, and it's like, well, shit. Why is Disney? I love Disney. I'm sorry, I love Universal, but why are they open? I just don't. Wait, you think Disney's gonna shut down for good? Yeah, right. Like, come on. Like, it's like common sense almost to me. It's like really, like, I don't know. Anyway, before the show gets too long, because we're having a good time right now, and I'm loving it. But before it gets too long, I'm going to open up the lines. And people in the Twitch chat, if you're listening, I will open up the lines, and we're gonna have some callers call in and just share what they think. I've always wanted this to happen. Like, we always offer this phone call, and we actually have people that want to talk about it. So I'm gonna open up the lines here. If you call, if you don't want to share your name, that's okay. But you can remain anonymous. If not, you can tell us who you are and where you're from and all that fun stuff. But just, feel free to share your thoughts on this. I am opening up the lines right now. If you would like to call into the show at any point in time, you can always call in and leave a voice message. We'll listen to the voice messages on the show, and we will, even if it's from an old episode, we'll still answer your questions. We'll still acknowledge your thoughts. It's never too late. You can also text the show at this number. That number is 802-432-8358. The lines are now open, and we will take calls as they come in. Oh, we already got a call. Look at that. Hello. I've never done this. I'm excited. Justin, are you there? Oh, I have to press 1. Justin, are you there? He's here. Justin's here, everybody. How you doing, Justin? Yeah, can you hear us? Uh-oh. You cut off a little bit for a second.
I can't hear him.
No.
I can't hear him, Jesse.
I can't hear him either.
It was quiet on this end.
You can't, so Malcolm, y'all can't hear the phone call right now?
No.
Hold on one sec. Let me see if I can make that happen. Ooh, there's got to be a way to make this happen.
Wow.
Looking.
No, I admire you. I admire you guys. I admire you very much. You guys are working really hard, trying to like make it work for you.
Hold on, Justin.
And, I sincerely hope it stays. I hope it works out for you guys. I hope you guys can stay afloat.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Ringing speakers. I think I figured it out. Hold on one sec. Where's Vio? Is it? Justin, say hello. Try this.
Hello?
He's on.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Justin. I'm sorry about that. I had to set up the audio here. Justin, what's up? What do you have to say?
No, been listening a little bit to what you guys were saying. By the way, Jesse, you're the only one I can hear because there's a huge delay between the chat and the phone call. So I had to take off my headphones and I can't hear the other guys, just you.
Here, I'll get you. I'll make it so you can hear. One sec. I can do that too, I think. That way, if they want to respond to what you say. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Victoria, say hello. Let's see if he can hear you.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, cool.
Awesome. We're good. We're Gucci. All right, go for it.
All right. So I hopped on a little late, but I heard you guys talking about like all the elementary school music tech and stuff like that. And I mean, I'm like you, and I'm an elementary school teacher down in Broward, and we've got no guidance whatsoever. The school board still hasn't voted on what our plans are. We know we're starting virtual, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking about like ESE teachers possibly going back into the classroom, and same with pre-K. And considering I teach both of those people, I don't know if that means I have to go back too. We're talking about starting virtual and staying there until the possibility of like the infection rate going down or something like that. I don't know. They have no idea what they're doing, and they haven't solidified any plans yet. Like you said, Jesse, if they'd been planning this from the beginning to start virtually, we could have had PD planning. We could have, I mean, in the past week when they've more or less said it's going to be virtual, I've already started planning my curriculum. I'm trying to figure out how to deal with kindergarten on the computer the first week of school. Like, that's going to be fun.
What?
I mean, you guys got to level with it though. Like these parents have been, it's like these parents prepped you for this. They put those tablets in their kids' hands, from 6 months now.
That's true.
Like,
yeah, but you know what?
we're not hopeless.
If the end of last year was
like,
any indication, like I had so many 4th and 5th graders, because I don't know how it was for other schools, but for my school, like I wasn't allowed to actually grade anything once we were online. It had to strictly be complete or incomplete, and I wasn't even actually allowed to mark anything incomplete. So it was complete or blank, and I had to mark complete that was submitted. So there was a 5th grader who submitted their name, and I had to mark it complete.
Oh my God! Yeah, we had a similar thing here in Orlando where we couldn't. It was either if they submitted something, they get a grade. If they didn't access our online courses at all, you didn't give them a grade. Like it was just blank.
We gave them their first 3 9 weeks as the grade. So they had an 83. That was their grade for the 4th 9 weeks.
Okay, yeah, it was very
kind
odd.
of what we did too. Like we had to give them a grade, but it was pretty much if they submitted something, they got we do 1s, 2s, and 3s for specials down here. And of course, you're never allowed to give out a 3 because we're not. So it's either a 1 or a 2. So, and it was pretty much if they submitted anything, they got a 1. It's like, oh, good. So thanks for making my job completely, degrading.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, like I can see that. Like that was my thing. Like I really thought that's what was happening, for the remainder of the school year, because I would ask Jesse, be like, hey Jesse, how's the online teaching thing going? Like how are you teaching? Like what resources are you using? And you guys are absolutely right. They needed to give you something over the summer to like start thinking about and looking over. Have the schools offered you to like go look at Florida Virtual School? Has anybody from Florida Virtual School like approached any of you as teachers? Hey, like let's train you. Hey, would you like a job? Have any of you looked into the idea of doing online teaching like at one of those virtual schools?
In Orange
I don't even know
County,
if
there
they have
was
specials
some.
there.
Wait, say that again. Say that again, Justin.
Do they even have specials for Florida Virtual School?
I
So
have no idea.
I took Florida Virtual School back in high school. I had to take several classes because I didn't want to drop band. Band is band.
Right.
I ended up taking PE online at Florida
So did
Virtual
I.
School. So it was pretty straightforward. The lady would send the documents over. You had like 10 modules you needed to complete in like 6 or 7 months, and she said that she's like, you're going to submit a paperwork on how long it took you to run a mile, or how long it took you to do these exercises, or how you would perform that. And like, I had to submit that. It was a grade or else I wasn't graduating. But, I'm just curious, if Florida Virtual School or, you're all in Orange County actually, except for you, Justin. If the virtual schools in Orlando offered you something, would that be something you would consider?
So I can answer the FLVS question because one of my co-teachers has a daughter who is starting FLVS, I think 2 weeks ago as a second grader.
Mhm.
And I asked her to look for me, and she said the only music classes are middle school guitar and high school world history. I mean, sorry, high school
That
world
sounds
music.
about right.
That's it's almost, I'm not laughing because it's actually funny. I'm just
It's sad.
it's
Yeah.
sad,
It's upsetting.
and like as Malcolm was saying, there's limited vacancies, because like when I looked into Orange County's virtual school, they said, it literally in parentheses, it says like you have to apply and hope, almost like, hope for the best, like hope there's something out there. But if you're not certified for certain subjects, you can't just, I can't just go teach history if I wanted to. I would have to get certified for that. So it's a nice thing to have, but it's like not for us in particular, like.
I understand.
Yeah.
So with that said, we're about 30 something minutes in, because we're so into this, which is great, because it's good. It's been a good talk. Let's get final thoughts. Justin, thank you for calling in. That was awesome, man. We appreciate you calling in.
No problem, man.
Talk to you later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
So I've never done this. I'm so sorry. This is so exciting that I had a caller. We had a caller.
This is a very active discussion,
No.
folks. Like, this is probably one of the most interactive episodes we've done.
Yeah.
We've been doing this since, like, what, Jesse, the middle of April?
Yeah.
This is the most we've really interacted with people
I'm
today.
gonna
Thank you.
give myself an applause. We're gonna give the show an applause, because that was exciting. Okay. So let's wrap up here, because I don't want to go too long, because then people will be like, oh, 2 hours, I can't listen to that. But this was certainly a good way to feel out everyone's position, to kind of show behind the scenes for the people who aren't teachers, to know like what's going on in the teacher's life, right? This was a good way to share that, and to get perspectives from other counties, get perspective from someone whose career isn't teaching. And Victoria, she's in, not an educator. Well, you're an educator, but not a full-time educator. So
second string.
Right. No, but it's been good to have that, and I appreciate all of you who have joined us today. Towards the end of the show, what we do is we shout out. So if you guys want to share, if you have any social media you want to share, I don't know if you're into that, but you can do that. But let's get the conclusion music going here.
In conclusion.
Malcolm, if you want to share anything about what you're doing, or if you have something you want to share to the audience, let them know what it is.
Yeah, so one of the things I want to give a shout out to is this elementary music teacher chat. It's designed for elementary music teachers, but really anyone can come in and talk teacher wise.
Mm-hmm.
We would also love substitutes to come in and give your thoughts. It happens every Friday from 11:30 a.m. Eastern till about 12:30 p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
The Zoom chat number is 817-805-7240. It's a group that I've been with since late March, when all this COVID stuff started.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a really awesome thing. I also want to give a shout out to some of my friends in Polk County who are just awesome.
For sure. No, that's
wouldn't
awesome.
I wouldn't be there because I love my friends in Polk County. They're great. And yeah, that's it. Jesse, thank you for having me on.
Yeah, Elise, what about you? Do you have anything you want to shout out or share or whatever before we get out of here?
I don't really have much to shout out. I just, I'm really thankful. I have a co-teacher. Her name is Julia, and she came on with me in around, I think, November of the past year, and she has been my saving grace. I have been so amazing and supportive, so it's just really great to have someone by your side to help you. So if you don't have that, you should get yourself a Julia, because she's awesome.
Awesome. And last but not least, Victoria, where can we find you as usual?
Hey guys, so I made that announcement last week that I had a little something special going on, and it dropped today. Check out my Instagram for all of the wonderful photos from my Hermione Granger themed Harry Potter photo shoot. Instagram at do the Hippogriff with 2 P's and 2 F's. And I really appreciate you guys sitting down and giving us a little insight on what your present and future life is looking like. I really hope that we can get it together and raise some awareness that some change needs to be made. The kids are not only the people we need to worry about.
Of course. And finally, last but not least, thank you again. I'm going to say it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, Elise and Malcolm and Scott. Are you there still?
Yeah, I'm here.
Scott, do you want to shout out before we get out?
Well, first, thank you for having me on. Sorry I was kind of in and out, but definitely thrilled to hear a lot of my colleagues share similar sentiment to me. Anyone paying attention to this who is not necessarily a music educator or educator in general, please do reach out to your board members if you feel like there's change needed. They will listen to you, okay? The more people, the louder the voice. So definitely. Thank you again for having me on here.
Oh, for sure, man, for sure. And last but not least, thank you all for listening. I had a wonderful time. It was eye-opening for me and comforting for me to be able to talk to you guys and get your thoughts and opinions and feelings on what's going on right now. And teacher or not, we're all in this together. We got to work together to make the best of it. Unfortunately, like I said, the leadership up there is questionable, in my opinion, on their decision making. But if we stick together and we work together to keep ourselves safe and sanitized and healthy, I think we can come out on top of the coronavirus, as they call it. But with that said, I almost forgot. I'm so sorry, Victoria.
Yes.
Quote of the day.
Quote of the day. I will quote one of the pop artists. The light is coming to give back everything the darkness stole.
I like that.
And that'll be Ariana Grande.
Okay. I like it. With that said, you can find me at IceT Kirby on all my social media platforms. And I'll leave it at that. Peace out, everyone. Clear. That was good.
You guys, that was a lot of fun. I really like that.
That was my first time on Twitch.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that was
Cherry
awesome.
poppers. I love it, guys.
And it ended with the music. The music ended, the song ended right at the end. That was perfect. I don't even have to figure it out.
Sorry, I was a little distracted at the end. I'm also trying to get done with a PD class, and my assignment is due at 2 a.m. And it's a 6-week ukulele curriculum, and and it's worth 400 points.
I'm learning the ukulele. What program are you using?
It's through a class through Vanderbilt College of Music. So I'm taking a 3 graduate credit hour course on playing and teaching ukulele.
Oh wow!
Oh wow, that's really cool. So, what did you pay for that? Because I know a lot of because I know a lot of universities were doing that for free.
Oh no! This is professional development credits.
Oh okay. So this is you're in a program.
Free.
Yeah, I'm in a program.
Okay, that's cool either way. That's so cool. Yeah, I think the ukulele is. Jesse and I had a professor. Did you go to UCF?
No, but I grew up in Orlando, and I've been a UCF supporter since I could crawl.
Okay, so I mean you're familiar, but we had a professor. We had a professor in school, and she had been telling us that that's a really up and coming instrument in the schools. It's easy for the kids to learn. It's very engaging. There's a lot of familiar tunes you can play on it.
Cost effective.
Absolutely. What is I got one for Christmas 3 years ago. The instrument, the case, the extra strings, the picks, and everything. It was $100. What?
Yeah, I got a pretty nice model for 200. But it's also because I wanted a really nice one that was going to last me forever.
Yeah,
of course. Of course. You got to get that quality. You got to be able to teach them. What a good sound is going to be from the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
Right on.
But I'm almost done with this course, and I'm so done with it. 8 weeks.
It's just funny as a teacher, I feel like, you work so hard in school to go teach in school that at a certain point, you're just done being in school.
All right.
Yeah.
Feel free to
Yeah.
keep hanging out.
And
I don't want to learn stuff
It's just-
anymore. My brain is too full of things right now.
oh, and
I
I'm very
wonder that.
appreciative of this class. I'll tell you that right now. It was a great class, but it has been a lot of work.
I can
And-
imagine.
And like tomorrow, my job is to take everything on the course and download it and put it in a folder because I know it's going to get locked in 2 days.
Well, there you
Oh,
go.
yes.
Yeah, because you know how college courses are. You can't access things after the class is done.
No,
Oh.
they don't play that game. Yeah, you're
Nope.
gonna cheat and get.
So I got to
They do-
You everything.
You have to. You have to. You have to. I took an astronomy class, and that happened. The teacher was just like, she didn't want the people doing the work at home because I had Googled it one day. They had her entire exam on Google.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, can you blame them? They, of course, they got to take all that
Fine.
stuff down.
Wait.
Yeah, for real.
Crap, I'm almost done.
Finish
Ugh.
something. Hey guys, I need to go take my dog for a walk. It's a little dark now, but
Yeah.
listen, it was really nice meeting you. I
Nice
would love
meeting
to
you
talk to
too.
you guys some more because like Jesse and I, we know each other through music, and it's a really big thing for me. So I'd love to talk to you guys more, and please keep me updated on what your schools are doing,
Yep.
please.
Will do.
Sounds
Love-
good.
Lovely, lovely. Jesse, is he here? Did he leave? He
Mhm.
left. He left. Tell him I say goodbye. Tell him I'll text him in a little bit.
Okay.
All right, bye guys. Good night.
Good night. Well, I need to go too, but I was gonna say bye to Jesse.
Yeah. I'll say bye to Jesse some other time. So how do you know Jesse?
I went to UCF.
Well,
so
there you
we were
go.
kind of we graduated like a year or two apart, I think. But yeah, we were in a few classes together.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know him through social life stuff here in Orlando.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's a cool guy.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Well, it was nice meeting you.
Nice
Hope
meeting
your
you.
year goes well.
Yes,
Safe.
as well as it can.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, stay safe.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
All right. That was a great time, guys. Thank you all for coming and being a part of the show as usual. If you didn't see the last episode, it was really good. Definitely worth a listen. It's on anchor.fm/IceT and the Hippogriff. I am probably going to take a small break here, maybe grab a snack. I might come back on and play some video games because, I mean, why not? And then I have to go to bed soon because I will be waking up and going bright and early to, not even bright and early, it'll be dark and early, to my classroom early in the morning for planning. Pre-planning starts tomorrow. I'm going back to work officially. So there's that. Good time. It was a good time. I had fun. I think we had a great chat. And with that said, yeah. Oh, they said, I saw it. I noticed that they left. I'm sure they said bye. Don't worry about it. I'm going to end the stream here, and then I will catch you all next Thursday at 7 o'clock. Peace out, everybody.